Guess what, guys? I'm back. I'm really back. This is round 2. It's my comeback tour. I'm gonna explain all that coming up. But real quick, I want to talk about today's sponsor, Element Electrolytes. Big thank you to Element for sponsoring this video. I have been drinking so much water. I cleaned up all the stuff that I was drinking. Coke Zero, so much excess coffee, and I forgot about water. And also, water has been helping me determine, am I actually hungry or am I thirsty? So I put a packet of Element Electrolytes in this first thing in the morning. I down this by the time I'm done with my workout, and then I drink the rest of the day. I just keep filling it up with water, and I'm averaging about 2 to 3 of these per day depending on my activity level. A lot of times where I thought I've been hungry, I've just been thirsty. So I highly recommend electrolytes, especially if you're switching back into keto. Say you're coming off of a vacation or something, you're out of ketosis. Electrolytes are a great way to smooth over that process to avoid the keto flu. And also, if you are like me who are doing keto, it's always good to get those electrolytes in so you're feeling your best and you've got loads of energy. So if you want to try a free sample pack, use my link down below. This deal is only good through me. It's limited 1 per customer per order. And you can get a sample pack for free with 8 unique flavors, and all you have to do is pay shipping, which is about $5 for US customers. So don't forget, use that link down below and order up your free electrolytes. Now let's get back to the show.
1 eternity later.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I am Jess. You're watching Keto Rewind. Thank you for clicking on today's video. This video is part 2 of my week 163 update. I didn't want to make that video super long, so I broke this up because there's a lot to unpack in the course of these 2 videos. So it just made sense to break it into 2 videos. So the part 1 was about identifying over the past 3 years the facts about my journey. And I highly suggest you just go watch that video. It will really summarize in more detail and make this video make more sense. So I'm going to link it in the cards. I'm going to link it down in the description box below and also at the end of this video. So, but the cliff notes are to recap, or essentially, I found that when I started my journey, I didn't properly address the mental side of the weight loss journey. And as I'm digging deeper and deeper and deeper into this side of the journey, there's just been a lot of stuff bubbling up to the surface. And specifically, the power that carbs have over my life, my inability to control them, or my perception that I could control them. And the more I normalized having them in my life, the more I normalized having them in my life when they obviously are not something I need to have in my life. In addition to that, I also, without a doubt, facts are, I felt the best physically, I did say emotionally, physically, by eating clean keto, carnivore, or Keto-vore. No gas, no bloat, no brain fog, loads of energy. The weight loss journey, the scale moved, there's a lot of things that you absolutely can't, and I enjoyed eating that way. I have a lot of wonderful recipes. So I cannot deny those facts of my journey. But you couple that with the emotional trigger, and that's where I am today. And being somebody who thought she could control the carbs in my life, and I'm talking about the simple carbs. I'm talking about the highly processed simple carbs. Like a French fry, that kind of thing. I don't have the off switch on a French fry. Like wheat, sugar in general, and those things. So I'm not talking about like a green pepper, that type of carb. I'm talking about those highly processed carbs and sugars. And so that brings me to where I am. Now that I've discovered the facts about my journey, I'm clearly triggered by simple carbs, processed carbs, sugar. I don't have an off switch when it comes to those things. It's clear that all of these signs all have the same culprit. The continued weight gain or the yo-yoing, my inability to control myself, it's all been these carbs. I'm emotionally exhausted. fighting this fight. Like emotionally, I am at this point where I am almost ready to give up. I'm emotionally on the brinks of, I have maybe one more fight in it before I want to give up. Like it's been 3 years and I'm tired of fighting this. In addition to that, I'm discouraged how many times I've been yo-yoing and off track and thinking I can do things that I couldn't do, or I didn't want to face the facts. It's not that I always believe in myself, but I don't always believe in the facts. I like to, you know, soften them up around the edges to make or justify, or, you know, that kind of thing. But I'm just frustrated that carbs in those simple carbs, those processed carbs, have so much power over my life. And I'm upset that I've allowed myself to become so like nonchalant about having those things in my life. You know, basically I'm good Monday through Friday, and then I blow it usually on the weekends, or it'll be a party or some random thing, and it will just reverse all the hard work I did the past 5 days. So I've been way too nonchalant about that. Oh, frustrating. But I'm proud that I have not given up yet. I have been trying hard. Like I have tried everything I can think of other than giving up at this point. And so I'm proud that I have not given up. And that's huge, and it speaks volume, because it's only a failure and if you give up. I have not failed yet. I've just gone pretty off track. There's hope. So there's always a way out. So I need to take away the power from these carbs and start addressing the behaviors and the triggers. It's not really the foods, it's still me that's having this issue. You know, the food's not making me eat it. I have that urge in myself that I want it and I long for it. And it's like that abusive, toxic ex-boyfriend that you keep letting back into your life, and you're like, no, all done with you. You know, like clean break. You know, like I feel like that is like sugar is to me, is that toxic old ex-boyfriend that you just don't want to have, you want to cut ties with. I actually have a video explaining that. I'll put it in the cards as well. It's about, I'm comparing sugar to a monster. And it's a cool video. And I did that when I first discovered that sugar was going to be a problem in my journey. So I want to say I was only a couple months into my journey when I made that video. So all of the signs point to the elephant in the room. Can you guess what I'm about to say? It's been my gut feeling all along. I've known I needed to do this, but I didn't want to accept it. You know, again, it's that addict that says, oh, you can do this, you know, you can, you know, just it's just food and all that justification. And it's been so obvious for so long. I've just not wanted to face it or make this decision. But the only way I'm going to free myself from this is to cut ties with the enemy. And in this case, the enemy is the sugar, the processed carbs, the simple carbs. I have to make a complete clean break, like complete turnaround, and get my emotions back under control. Like, and when I say that is like, it's a true addiction. I mean, yes, it's not alcoholism, it's not drugs, but sugar and all of those things aren't far off from it, you know. And if you would give a alcoholic a glass or a bottle of wine and think there wouldn't be repercussions of that, you're crazy. And it's like, it's the same thing. And it's like, if I keep taunting myself and allowing these things in my life, I'm never going to conquer this, because for one, my judgment keeps getting more clever, and it's like, oh, it's just one time, it's just vacation, you know. All these things are gonna just keep getting louder, and there'll be a point where it's like, it's off the table, and we just open the floodgates of carbs, you know. Like, I'll get to that point, and at that point, you know, I'm just gonna be in big trouble. So I have to get a handle on it, and the only way to get that out of my head and kind of detox from it is to literally cut it off. And cut it off for a while so that I can get that control back and learn how to live without it again, and take a better approach this time around, because I have to address those things. I didn't address those last time. I just had the restriction. Well, it's the restriction plus working on those demons too. It's not just like, there's a lot more to it, and I understand that now. So I know a lot of you are going to think it's a horrible idea and it's just more restriction, it's more extremes, it's more, but I hope that it makes sense when it comes from an addiction standpoint. You know, would you really give a bottle of beer to an alcoholic? You know, like, would you really think that that'd be a good idea? And that's where I'm at right now. It's so bad that the only way I think I see myself out of this is if I treat it like a true addiction. And that means it's out. You know, that the carb addiction doc, when he first came out, I swear he was like talking to me, and I actually stopped following him because it was like so true and I didn't want to accept it. So I haven't watched him in forever, but those words in the back of my mind are continuously like, it was so true, and I was just in denial for so long, you know? And then the other thing is, it's like I'm torturing myself by even allowing those things into my life, because it gets so much harder to say no when you're just having more and all these little things, all this little grace, and, you know, then there's another vacation, or it's like, whatever the case may be. It's torturing me to keep having things in my life. And I did not have that torture when I went, you know, when I first started my journey, because those things were not allowed. I was clean and I was strict about it, and I had so much success. That's why I lost so much weight so quick. You know, when you change those habits. So with that said, my plan is to remove these simple carbs and even carbs in general out of my diet for the next 4 to 6 weeks. Now, I talked to my dad because he's still in town for the next 4 or 5 weeks-ish. He's known about what's going on and all that. So I was like, you know, you want to do this with me? He's always like, yeah, what are we gonna do now? Well, so I gave him 3 options. I said, strict keto, like similar to like my clean 30 challenge, where I did like 20 total carbs and then I did a 20 net carb challenge. You know, those meal plans are already on my website, Keto-vore.com. It's free, they worked, I felt great. Or we could try switching it up, and we can try doing a Keto-vore, which essentially is carnivore with a mix of keto on like the weekends. So basically, Monday through Friday, we would eat carnivore, and on the weekends, we would do strict keto. So that's like what the Keto-vore is. So I gave him those 3 options, and he's like, you know what, let's try the Keto-vore. We have not done that longer than a week before, and it's something new. It's, you know, it eliminates the issue that I'm having right now with carbs. So that's what we plan on doing. So he's gonna be doing it with me. I'm gonna be filming what I'm eating with those things. But I'm kind of like, at first I was like, dang it, he's picking that, but it's like the addict in me that's like, no, she doesn't want to give it up yet. You know, but this is gonna force me to cut those ties, to re-get some control back into my life, to remember how good it feels to not have those things in your body physically. And it would be probably a really good way to just get the ball rolling again. And I'm kind of excited. So I've done carnivore several times with success. I've done keto several times before and lost over 130 pounds. So combining the 2 of them, it seems like a no-brainer. It seems like a doable plan. And honestly, with as busy as I am with softball, being that my girls are back in softball, it's so easy just to grill up a burger. It's thoughtless. It's like, what do you have for dinner today? Oh, let's put some burgers on the grill. Done. You know, like I don't have to worry about sides. I don't have to worry about casseroles. I don't worry about all that. And it's easy to just open up some veggies and you know, like some frozen veggies or something for my kids to have with their burgers. No, it's easy and completely doable. And it might just really be, I've been avoiding it for so long that it just might, I'm open to it now, and it just might be what I wish I would have done years ago at this point, you know, because I'm 3 years into this journey. So now once you've removed all of the carbs, all of the slip-ups, all of those days where I indulge, and you remove that all out of your body, of which none of that made me feel good. It tasted really good for, what, 15 seconds for each bite to chew. And then after you're all done with the meal, not only do I feel, you know, but now I'm bloated, now I've got gas, now I've got no energy, I'm tired all the time, I'm sleeping like crap, you know, and it's like, why would I want that? I don't understand how it has so much control, because I feel amazing when I eat keto. It's why I named my channel Keto. Like, I felt so good for the first time in so long. I was 309 pounds eating all those horrible carbs, and then I went this direction and I was like, well, dang, this is amazing. So it's like, it's a reason why I embraced keto as a lifestyle. It feels good, and I cannot, no matter what excuse I could possibly say, I cannot deny the fact that I felt amazing when I eat this way. And let me say this, yes, keto is not for everybody. It is restrictive, but there's varying ways to do keto. I mean, low carb would be, if somebody asked me whether they wanted to do keto or low carb, I'd point low carb. It's a lot less stressful. But for those of you that really want the true effects from keto, it's a wonderful lifestyle, you know? So, and at the same time, it's gonna help me with my mental detachment and the power to say no, again, because I'll feel so good when someone's dangling a chocolate chip cookie, you know, I'm gonna be able to say no, you know, and not because I can't have that cookie. I'm choosing not to feel crappy anymore. I'm choosing not to let that cookie control my life. I'm choosing to feel my best, to look my best, to feel my best, you know, all of those things. It's my choice. And that's how I take the power back from that processed garbage that's just completely taken over my life. Okay, so the emotional side of the journey when I lost my weight, back when I started, you know, in February 11th, 2019, I didn't properly address this. I didn't. I got hell-bent on the weight loss side, and, you know, I learned a lot of awesome things with the, you know, recipes, you know, how to live this lifestyle. I picked up so much along the way, but I really always ignored the part of me that always wanted that cookie. So this time around, my part 2, my comeback of my journey, this is where I'm gonna get it done. This is where it's my last hurrah, and then I'm just gonna leave. If I can't do it this time, I'm deleting the channel, you know? It's like, I am gonna put every ounce of blood, sweat, and tears into this. But this time, what's different is I'm focusing on the mental side. You know, and I'm gonna retrain my brain to think differently about foods in general. You know, why do I wanna sabotage myself when I'm feeling so good? You know, like the feeling of being good, the feeling of eating well, you know, on keto, carnivore, Keto-vore, that feeling that you get lasts all day. I don't have to eat something to feel that way. Like, it literally lasts all day. When I take a bite of a chocolate chip cookie, that lasts 15 seconds in my mouth, and then I'm back to feeling, well, now I've just ruined it. The self-sabotage, well, I've had a cookie, might as well, you know, have Mexican food too. You know, I've already blown it. Like, it's like that slippery slope. This time around, I'm gonna remember I have a choice, and I have a choice to feel good all day, or I can feel good for 15 seconds. And every time I have an attempt at eating, I have a chance to make sure that I'm doing what is best for me, and I'm choosing to feel great, not choosing to give all of my power and control to a inanimate object that could give to it. Like, the cookie doesn't care about me at all. You know, like, and I'm giving so much power to that cookie. So, but I'm just going to approach it so much differently, and I'm going to continue the mental help that I've been doing, so that when I am faced with, I really want nachos this weekend or something like that, or the poor me that's temper tantruming, well, I can't have that. Everybody else can eat that way. Why can't I? That 5-year-old that's inside here that always rebels and knows exactly what to say, I have a way to combat it. I have a way to offset, you know, redirect, retrain my brain to stop thinking that way and think about, don't you want to feel good, Jess? Don't you want to put this behind you? Don't you want to have the control over your life and not give it to something else? You know, like, there's so much there that I'm going to be working on. So, and that's the stuff I'm going to share quite a bit as well. So, okay, well, with all that being said, I'm sure I forgot something, but I'm going to be posting a lot about this stuff. I could care less if not even a single person watches the video. I'm doing this for me. I'm doing this because I have to. And there's nothing right now that could change my opinion or my approach. Like, I am doing it this way, and I'm giving it my last hurrah. So, but I will take you guys along with me if anybody does want to watch and see me get to my goal and see how I'm doing it and how I'm overcoming these freaking, you know, powers that sugar has on me and, you know, all that stuff. So anyways, I hope you enjoy these videos. If you can relate, please give the video a thumbs up, drop a comment, and I'll see you at the next one. I'm Jess, you're watching Keto Rewind, and I am back on board.